Okay. 1 second. Yes, sir. Just waiting on notification. Okay, boom. Thank you all very much. Okay, here we go. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us, Brother D'Mitri Muhammad out of Nashville, Tennessee, who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. This means a lot to myself, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. I just want to thank you again, sir.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you, sir. It's my honor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, the first question that we want to have for you, sir, is when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Allah. Oh, Allah is indeed the greatest. And at that time, I was leading a life of Christian faith. I'm a PK, my father's a preacher. We lived in Louisville, Kentucky. My mom, everyone knew her. Beautiful lady, super strong lady. Matter of fact, her nickname was Big Sister. And everybody loved it, but everyone respected it. In the church that we were in with my father, we wound up having difficulties as the years went by. And as a little boy with my baby sister, I don't think she might have been 1. But anyway, you know, in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, they have a Commonwealth law there. So you could just, you know, when you decide to leave, you could leave, right? So anyway, mom got so fed up with what was going on. So, and just to be honest, a lot of women in the church. So I was a young boy, but as I got older, I kind of figured it might have been what it was. But she was kind enough. She never addressed it, never told me my whole life. But I figured that. So anyway, we moved. And we moved here to her hometown, Nashville, Tennessee. And in between moving, she needed to get a place to stay here and a job. And out of all the people that she left me and my little sister with, you know, her sister, one of her sisters was in the church, and uncle, and all of the, you know, church parishioners. They're good people, but she chose to leave us with my aunt and uncle, who were in the first resurrection of Islam under the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Great sister. She just recently, Allah be pleased with her and my uncle, but she most recently made her transition. I think it was last year. I think it's been a whole year now. And it was Sister Marion. She used to be an instructor at the MUI in Chicago, and she showed, and I called him Uncle Bob, but it's Minister Brother Erastus. And of course, things changed even more later. But at that time, when we moved out, I can't remember the exact years, but they were still under Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I heard an album. That's the first time as a boy. They didn't force me on anything. They asked a couple of days that I want to go with them to the mosque. I went. And all I remember as a little boy is the men in there were totally different from the men at my church. They commanded respect right away without saying a word. True men. I observed them in great detail. And I could see a great difference. I didn't really, as a child, really know what it was. But when they put in that album, even as a little boy, I'd never heard of the white man called the devil. And those are things that a preacher's kid wonders about. Where is the devil? So you'd have concerns that you weren't a good son because you didn't really know for sure that the devil was under earth. because went to school, they said there was magma under there, and they showed the different parts of the earth. And Dad and the other preachers, when they got together, they talked about white men shouldn't go to the moon. They said the ship was probably going to blow up and whatnot. It did not. It did not. So, but anyway, those were a lot of changes for a young man. And then once we got here, it was like a racetrack. While Mom was, she had her job, she was waiting on her first, it was called a public housing. And here in Nashville, on one side of the street was the Black public housing. The other side was the white public housing. And actually they called it the White Projects. It was on the street called Wharf Avenue then. Now it's named after, believe it or not, one of my students, a great basketball player named Charles Davis. On the other end is still Wharf. But we lived there. Mom, of course, tried to slick one on me there because I'm the big boy. She said, honey, we're just going to be here a year or 2 or 3. And I didn't know why, because I kind of liked it myself, but I learned not to because the little white kids didn't treat me fairly. At first, I thought they were. I was having fun playing sports. But bottom line, she told me to just be a year or 2. 2 turned into 5, 5 into 7. Brother, we lived there for 13 years. I was at TSU. No. Yeah. Well, yeah. Went to Tennessee State University from there. Found my new love with martial arts while I was still there. Because from there, I was a project boy. I walked downtown, it wasn't far from downtown. And that's where I met this grandmaster instructor of mine. And I'm still with him till today, almost 50 years. Yes, sir. Praise
be to yes, sir. And what I've been to Tennessee State quite a bit, and I've walked downtown. Me and my family, we enjoy Nashville. Matter of fact, my mother has taken us around Nashville to a lot of those landmarks, and I'm a big fan of Nashville. Brother D'Mitri, big fan of Nashville. Yes, I wanted to ask you about your martial arts, the master. What style of martial arts is that?
Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, yes, sir.
But now, if I've been with him 50 years, that Taekwondo is different then. So now they call it traditional Taekwondo. In other words, the new Taekwondo people don't want to deal with us that much because we do a whole lot of slam banging, punching and stuff along with the kicking. But once things change on a business aspect for Taekwondo out of the Kukiwon, they called it in Seoul, Korea. They had ambassadors all over the planet, still do. And what they called, well, not called, it was actually for sure their national sport. But a national sport in Asian countries is not like what we see here, not like basketball or whatnot. But now the Taekwondo competition has turned into that, which means now some of us, we kind of look at it kind of a little disappointed. But still, it was great popularity, great for business, great for the black belts, and started, 1988 is when it came into the Olympics. And that was a great thing at the time. But anyway, the traditional way for us has more to do with morals, discipline, self-discipline, code of conduct. And as we know, code of conduct is going to be very important soon, because right now in America, they took all the martial arts and pretty much made them MMA now. So you see men and young men cussing and fussing when they get through fighting, and invite people out to the club. They actually sponsored by liquor, and they'll hold it up, have the shirts on, and very profane. And that's not our way. And then, of course, as you know, in America, we have the children that are already accustomed to American sports, which are very hefty and no joke when you're talking about football and boxing and whatnot in America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you give this to children, degree by degree. It's happening now. They just haven't talked about it much because of the shooting. But a child in school now, run into one of those young people that want to kind of work out on you, you're in bad shape. So plus that, as it goes into the streets more, anyway, we don't care much for that part. So, but I'm still with my instructors, the core group of our black belts, seniors, all the master instructors were still together. But most important for me is when I ran into Nation of Islam for myself, not as a child, I eventually wound up seeing this great young man, and his name, I called him at that time just GM, but now we know to call him Abdul Aziz Muhammad. He is our Assistant Supreme Captain, and I'm very proud to have met with him because it expanded my martial arts world even more. I got to meet a man that I'd only seen on television called Wide World of Sports. I saw a strong black man. He rolled across with one finger. He did a one finger stand and rolled out. That was Professor Musa.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Professor Moses Powell. And I got to, once I met Brother GM, I got to meet him because this brother here, Brother Aziz, he really is not just a great martial artist, he is what martial arts is supposed to be. He's a great organizer. So we had our first training of all the black belts in the Nation of Islam back in 1996. And we've been doing it ever since annually. And of course I was there. And that's why I love that brother. He's a strong worker. And when we had the training, I met that great brother Musa Muhammad. Again, they call him Moses Powell, Professor Moses Powell. And he gave me a complete working over, the kind that we didn't do. We'll give you, some chocolate, we call it, nice knuckles and whatnot. But he could take his finger, put it in places that really, really hurt. We did joint locks, but he did finger locks, joint down to the finger lock. And anyway, that was beautiful. So degree by degree, I've expanded. And I love my nation because now, only time I'd seen other styles of martial artists is when we competed. But now every year, all year long, I can be with brothers and they're all the styles of the whole planet. And they're all in the Nation of Islam. And they're all working in their cities and communities. All praises due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Oh, and brother, I wanted to also mention one of those brothers. This is when I'm trying to explore my martial arts. I think I was just a yellow or green belt. Some friends and I, they were in class. We were at a store looking through magazines, not going to buy it, just being nosy looking. And I'd never seen a black man on the front cover. Didn't see him much on the inside, a martial arts magazine. This time I saw it on the inside, a brother that was winning tournaments and stuff on the West Coast. They called him Steve Sanders.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I didn't know I'd get to meet that brother. I did not know I'd get to meet him. And now I feel I know him. He's a great master. Tijo Sabir Muhammad. And of course, we found out that he was in the Bruce Lee movie. That made it even better.
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
I didn't know I'd get to meet him one day and actually work out with him a little bit, let him do things to me. And yes, sir, brother. I love my nation because we all the styles that people used to argue over, we don't even have a hint to even bring up the conversation. Because actually it would be like the minister told us one day, there won't be any names for religions. There'll just be one. And that's how I feel about our martial arts in the Nation of Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir, Brother D'Mitri. Both of my sisters, Miriam and Naima, send the greetings to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's your sisters. They always do. Come on. But sisters on there. My queen is sitting right over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you mind if she sits beside me?
Okay. That's no problem with me. All right.
This is Sister Donna Muhammad. What's your sister's names again?
Sister Naima. Yes, sir.
All right. This is Sister Donna Muhammad and my wife and brother she finally got some extra dues this year. She's for our city. She's MGT of the year and all that stuff. But yes, sir. But she's also one of my black belts.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah,
and my sister say Assalamu alaikum, Queen. And they say this is a people's podcast first. They never had somebody just, you know what I'm saying, just come on, yes, ma'am. And they say all praise to MGT.
That's my we're in the house.
Give them also the greetings for me.
Yes, ma'am, I would. Well, yes, ma'am, alaikum salam, ma'am. Okay, now when here's the 2 points I wanted to make. Do you like martial arts movies? Sir?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, because I was gonna say in Cobra Kai is come back as a TV show based off Karate Kid. It's a lot. It's one of my favorite shows. I can't wait for season 4 to come back. And I wanted to ask you, with Mr. Miyagi being more of the gentle way, the proper way, are you saying that that's more in line with your style as opposed to the strike first Cobra Kai way?
Oh no, more. You're definitely right, brother.
Okay.
I don't know about the Cobra Kai, but in this life, the way Allah made people, if you strike first, that may be your last strike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, there are other reasons that you shouldn't be the aggressor as well. But yes, you're exactly right, sir.
Okay, great. Yes, sir. And I was going to say, when I was doing martial arts tournaments when I was younger, we were taught, like, if we hurt somebody, to turn, get on your knees, like face the other way. Do you think that type of etiquette, if you will, is going out the windows? What you're saying with mixed martial arts? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. It is not going. It's gone. And myself, I have not been to a point tournament in a long time, but I could say the best conduct that I'd seen is when, again, our brother Grandmaster Aziz Muhammad, a part of our training weekend, we used to have tournaments, and at some point we had to dissolve that. But that really was beautiful, because not only would you see the bow and the etiquette, but you also saw a bunch of Muslim men give the greetings cheek to cheek. And yeah, and the sisters, that was a beautiful thing. So it kind of reminded me of how things used to be. It's that way some places, but still it's kind of a little phony now. It's a lot of rah-rah, screaming and hollering. It's okay from the stands, but now the actual competitors are doing that, which, as you know, that causes problems when it's time to compete. So the referees and judges have to work a little bit harder these days. And I'm one of those judges and whatnot, and I don't relish going to any of them right now. But it was a beautiful part of, and I think you probably would say that it was a beautiful part of your training, because it's an extra outlet. It gives you an idea of how things would work with someone that you don't know. And at the end of the day, the martial artist will have to apply himself one day for himself or his loved ones. And at least he'll have muscle memory. Right now, what they're saying is, if you don't fight for real, there's no fighting for real. They're lying. Even if you choke your man out, you're elbowing while he's on the ground, that's not a real fight. Because you know what a real fight is, brother? It's when there are no referees. No one to stop it. See, in my profession, I come up and nobody stopped it. Sometimes the person not breathing. So they're running game, making money again. Everything about this culture is about so I saw that many years ago, brother, where the martial arts, degree by degree, were being Americanized.
Yes, sir. Okay, great. Well, I wanted to, Sister Donna, while you're here, do you mind if you answer some questions, or you just?
I don't mind.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay. What is it like for you to be married to someone who had to teach you, give you a black belt? What was that like?
Oh, it was hard. Very hard. Going to class, he was not my husband. He was my teacher, my instructor. So I I separated the two,
Mm.
but he was real hard with me in class. He tried to run me out of class, but I stayed.
Okay, great. Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And what was it like? You you spoke about, Brother D'Mitri, you spoke about so many black belts being in your family. What is that like to come from a family of fighters?
But we enjoyed it. It's seven in all. It's myself, my husband, and the children. All of us. We was excited to do the test. Sometimes scared to do break a brick, but I learned it was mind over matter. Yes.
I'm proud to say she got a second degree years ago. Matter of fact, when I closed my last class, we really were getting ready to prepare her for her third degree test. This young lady here, she actually competed as well. And one time she competed at the lower belt, was yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, two of us, the youngest, the sons, they were born while we were having class. She competed while she was pregnant, didn't tell me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, fortunately she didn't get hurt. She did win, so she feels good about that. But once she told me that when we got home, I was scared. So the baby boy, he was in there in the oven while she was competing. She just really loves what she does.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And Sister Donna, as a mother, when you're teaching your children martial arts, what are some of the philosophies or teachings that you are giving them that a regular instructor wouldn't give them because you're their moms? Like what's the difference?
Well, it's basically the same. You give them like self-defense, self-confidence. It gave them the knowledge of what to do for self if they were in trouble or got in trouble with someone.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. And for you, Brother D'Mitri, what was it like? Now I'm coming back to you, Sister Donna. Sister Donna, what was it like being married to a man who was in law enforcement?
Oh, I felt protected and scared at times when he was in the street. And even in the school system, he taught in the school systems on the drugs and the gang violence. But we felt protected.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. And for you, sir, Brother D'Mitri, though you were in martial arts, but now you're you're on the beat, as they would say, or you would, what I'm saying, when you were in law enforcement, did you ever face fear? And if so, how did you overcome that fear?
Oh, yes. Just to be honest, my mother helped me with that. Because again, I didn't have any, it's the will of Allah. I didn't have anyone really to help me out. When we moved, we were always in a new place, new school. And she would just remind me that if I came home crying, then I need to do something about it the next day. And I figured that out. And I was hoping that, once the white kids taught me, I was hoping when more Black kids moved in, it'd be different. No, more of the same. So I learned not to be such a nice boy all the time. That was not really in my mind at all moving here. But, children get rude awakenings. And at some point, I learned how to turn it on and turn it off. Sometimes my mother was a little disappointed that I couldn't turn it off properly. There's some children that when you come and get them, they don't want to be got. They don't want it to be over with. I have a story, because I love this brother. He's gone now. But people my age that were in that area that might see this, when we first met each other, we actually got in a fight 3 days in a row. And he wound up being one of my best friends. We played football together all through junior high, high school. And, sorry to say, he in and out of prison so much that, anyway, it didn't turn out well for him. And a lot of our people that I went to school with and learned to love, we didn't say we loved each other back then because, it was a different culture for us, but we did. And sometimes you wound up, see here in Nashville, it's a little different from places like Atlanta, maybe, but definitely from up north and east. We didn't have any names for gangs and whatnot, just a group of young men that would be together a lot. And as time went by, people that moved down here, we'd catch them from Memphis next. And then of course, you learn how to, people said South Side, West Side, but there still weren't any names.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So sometimes you'd wind up being with people that your mom would remind you shouldn't be with. And actually, brother, when you said police, I just had a memory. We, after a swimming night, we were sitting on the bar. It was like a merry-go-round, just talking, and we heard boots, boom, boom.
Mm.
And we heard the racking of a shotgun. We didn't know it at the time. And when we turned around, he actually had drawn down with his shotgun. It's a police officer.
Mm.
I think I was about 14 or 15. And he said, "Run, Inns. I want you to run." And needless to say, the backup came. They got all of us, took us to the restaurant. It was about across the street. And the white lady, as soon as she saw us, she said, "That's them." So like students in school and whatnot, they several of the schools that I would take, I always stayed in patrol so people could see me when we weren't in school. Because I really wanted to help our people. And I think I did. But bottom line, this type of action makes young people almost hate police. Well, not almost, they do hate police sometimes now. And at that time, it made me hate them too. All my life, until I started thinking about being one, I didn't like police. And to be honest, when I retired, still some police I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you understand. But he got us over there. The white lady said it was us. The kids that I taught and they stopped me and talked to me, or sometimes I have to answer a call. Could even be one of those real terrible things with their mom and dad, But still, I would reflect, and I would understand that sometimes people lie just to get people hurt, and the people get hurt. So I was really trying to help by not telling them, but they would ask me about juvenile or jail. I hadn't been to jail, but juvenile, actually I had, but I didn't get booked. Me and the friends that were together, we didn't get booked, but we did get something else because my mom said to be home at X time, and I wasn't home at X time. And, we're a little bit older group than the other boys. Some of them were the other guys' brothers. And we saw a bunch of little heads bumping in there. And my mom was sitting over there already with this certain purse that I knew had this black strap in it. And she'd already asked the people. I heard her, my best friend say, "Your mom out there." So I listened, and she said, "Could I just talk to them for a minute in a room?" Talk to them. They didn't let her. But bottom line, she was waiting on me, brother. And these little heads come popping in there, about 5 or 6 of them, with their mamas. And for some reason, once the boys heard who had gotten arrested for what they did, they threw a brick through a window. And of course, they said the brick almost hit a little white baby, to make it worse for us. And but anyway, those boys told it on themselves, and their moms brought them down there. So within a few minutes, we were released. But my mom walked. She didn't have a car. So needless to say, all the way from juvenile that was then by Howard School building, those people in Nashville know where it is. She walked me all the way over across that bridge to University Court, they call it now, the White Project. And occasionally as she's talking, I get a slap in the back of the head and whatnot, snatch on my shoulder. I didn't do it. And I keep saying, I said, "Mama, I didn't do it." She said, "I know you didn't do it, but you wouldn't even been in here if you'd have been home." So That's still some old good training, and I loved it. I love her.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sister Donna, what advice would you give to future mothers?
Future mothers,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Teach their children, to put Allah first in their lives. And that will take care if they heed of what their moms would tell them. I think that what Allah is put the center in your life.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And for you, Brother D'Mitri, what advice would you give to future future fathers?
Oh, brother. First thing, I would ask them to make sure that they avail themselves to the courtship process. These are things that are tools that we have now in our nation. Minister Farrakhan has us set up just like a beautiful hereafter. I can see it turning that way. And that's one of the things that actually was set up for a good family life, because you would start off with someone that was not necessarily you're just saying, I love you, but you actually learn to look for things in other people and allow them to look for things in you. So to allow them to look for things, you have to answer their questions honestly. And you can't answer a question honestly when you're in the heat of the moment, when you're trying to, the two of you are alone and the man's mind gets on his chemical process and, and the drive makes him say other things. But if he is, we enjoy being able to chaperone someone, because that means as young adults, and we say young adults, they could be in their 20s, their 30s. But when they're able to have a dinner, and we got dinner over there, and they're just, after a while, you see them just laughing and talking and giggling, and you do, another one, you go to a movie, and then maybe some of the other people from the bars, they decide they want to go to the movie too. I mean, I had never seen things like that. And I love that. Matter of fact, I love the restrictive law. But see, that's because I know it. Most of the people that don't give an opportunity to know it, some of them have told me that's what pretty much they say drives them away. But you didn't give it a chance yet. Yeah, has to do with development, right?
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And thank everybody in the comments. I can't wait to put this on YouTube this evening. Sister Donna, I had a question for you. What advice would you give to future wives?
Future wives. Minister Farrakhan said, marriage is a journey to oneness. And it says, because the physical bodies are easy to unite and give monetary pleasure, it is only when the minds have become united that every day with the one you love is a pleasure experience, and that takes time. And that was in his in Minister Farrakhan's book.
Oh, yes,
in
ma'am.
The Twitter book. Yes.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. My sister said that you came prepared. Excellent.
She's always prepared.
Yes, Brother D'Mitri, what advice would you give to future husbands?
Pretty much the same that Donna said, but I say make sure that you prepare yourself to take care of yourself first. So even though I didn't have anything about the Nation of Islam when we met, I did not. But once I decided, because I knew something about it, I did. But once I decided, man, it changed my whole life. It did. But if I had to do all over again, simple things like some of it bled into my life, although I was not a Muslim. So when I left my mother's home, I think young men should have their own apartment. And I found that made things a lot smoother for me. Because as you know, the sisters are trained different, whether they're Christian, Muslim, or whatnot, they're a little different. So when they get out, they have their own apartment, own car. Brother winds up spending the night. It's okay, that's what they want to do. But he winds up living with her. And when she gets mad, and I saw this from my career, you get the calls called domestic. And most of the time, the brother is not on the lease. It's her place. And sometimes he made her so upset that she's thrown his stuff out on the lawn. Everybody's out looking at it. She's cussing, throwing his stuff out because she can show off now, right? And then the
Yeah, she can do that. She can do that.
Yeah. The popo come and it gets worse. Because we have to follow the law per se. But if he had his own place, and that was my experience before I even got married. And I really loved that that much of Islam told me a man should have your own. So that meant that if I'm not going to use my wife for that. I'm just going to say for any lady, if they were upset with me and I with them and they're in my apartment, the same process that happens with other men, they say, get out. If I get fed up, guess what I would say? Get out. Now, it sounds like a simple thing. And most of the ladies, they had never seen that before because the men normally don't have their own place. They would stop at the door and say, you don't want to put me out. Then you open the door and they step out on the porch. They say, I know. And then I love George Jefferson. I like slamming doors. I slammed the door and I began to understand how the women felt when they did the same to us. You don't have to hurt anyone physically. You really don't have to hurt their feelings, but to just be able to put them out of your place, get them out of your atmosphere. And then of course, a little spice of tell them to get out, slam the door, feels kind of good. And then at the end of the day, guess what? You wind up calling each other back. I'm sorry. No one has a bloody nose. No one's door has been kicked in. So that part of manhood training is not lost, but in the Nation of Islam, by us being able to have what we call, what is it? I said, well, see, that's why I needed her with me. That's my memory. Courtship, yeah. So the courtship helps with that because the young men understand that they need to have their own. And when he has his own, and then he decides to ask for the sister's hand in marriage, that's a beautiful thing. The young man, oh yes, the young man feels strong, he feels worthwhile, and she does too. And they're able to save a little money. Now that part, we enjoyed that because I had my apartment. She had hers when I met her. When we got married, we closed hers down because we lived in one place, saved money. And it was important for me. Okay, yeah.
Beautiful, praise be to Allah. And Sister Candace, Muhammad says, Assalamu alaikum, she's shouting you all, her Nashville family. People saying praise be to Allah. Thank you all. And I can't wait to put this on YouTube tonight. Thank everybody who's continuing to watch. Brother D'Mitri, I want to ask you about your legacy. What would you like your legacy to be, sir?
Brother, I just like it to be as it is, a little helper. That's why I came to the nation. Once I heard about Minister Farrakhan, because all I knew was Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad from my aunt and uncle from years ago. I was in uniform. I went into a store. I like to go into black businesses. Bookstore, still there. It's at 28th and Jefferson. And the brother had some flyers there. And I looked at one of them and it said something about the Nation of Islam. And they were going to be here. They were already here, but I didn't know it. Okay, because I didn't work that zone. But I looked at it and it said the Dean of Ministers, and that was Minister Bia.
Yes, sir.
So I went and man, that the teachings and constantly this very intelligent, wise, strong man, Minister Bia, was constantly, I could relate because he was constantly talking about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad he used to live with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then he always prefaced things about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and how things are going with the rebuilding of the nation. I really enjoyed that idea because I saw with my own eyes in Louisville, Black men back then, they could start businesses from the Nation of Islam. And I remembered that. And then the people told, the Jet magazine would have articles on all of these businesses that the Nation of Islam had. And when the average Black people, they didn't have business of their own, they just worked them. Mm-hmm. And sitting there listening to this man talking so honestly and openly, but giving all the credit due to God, number one, and then to Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It made me want to be with some other men like me. That, you know, that's how I felt, you know. So although I was on that job, something told me I want to speak to them. So I asked the minister then, may Allah be pleased with him. He's a great minister for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Minister Abdul Majid Muhammad.
Absolutely.
His name was his name was Minister James then. And I asked him, could I speak to you all in private? And he said, sure, brother. And when I got with him in private, immediately I told him not only my name, I told him, you know, what kind of career I had and what not. And shoot, I thought they were going to, you know, kind of frown. And they almost busted out laughing. They were smiling. They said, brother, you're a Black man first. You're our brother. And it made me feel so good. And he told me, he said, brother, we've had, in our Nation of Islam, we've had many law enforcement and military men. People just don't know. That's what they smiled. I told, and Minister Majid told me to keep coming back. Of course, Minister B, I was just visiting, but that brother had a heck of a fish net and he caught me, he fished me. And Minister Majid took care of me after that. And the brotherhood took care of me after that. They learned to get past the po-po stuff, and I the same. See, because sometimes people say things are negative and they think that's going to hurt my feelings, but it doesn't. Because actually I live within myself, and my experience is my care is for the victim. So they don't know that when they're thinking certain things, I have certain thoughts too. And I think the FY is the best thing you need to be. You have to change your life to help your people, to be civilized. You know, how can we tell other people to stop killing us when we're killing each other? So it doesn't hurt my feelings. I keep my thoughts to myself, but all I know is what comes out of those prison bars and the NOI, the FY, oh man, it's such a beautiful thing. To the point that, brother, don't you know, I went in there. Now, this is the first time people have heard that unless you were in the mosque with us. I've been in there quite a few times with the brothers, with Minister Majid. Our captain here, we have a great captain, Captain Andre. He invited me to go. I went. Not only did I like it, they liked me being there. Yeah, and it works out kind of good, brother, because I'll leave you with this. One of my sons is in there. Okay. And also in nothing against the city, I love Atlanta, but one of my other sons, he's a cold case there. Someone took his life. It was years ago. Still a cold case now. And of course, your administrative law enforcement, I'm in the books, they know I'm law enforcement, but that thing they talk about, a black and white thing, it's in every part of this society. So if we're not ready to deal with the racism until it shows its head, it's gonna hurt us at some point, because we think they're gonna do a little bit different with us because we're the same profession or whatnot. It doesn't work that way, brother. Yeah, matter of fact, the young people that are very good critical thinkers, I hope they continue that. You know, so some things called constructive, I can't think of the word properly right now, but when you add things, when they say, if this was a black man, would this happen this way?
Yes, sir, yes,
if
sir.
this was a white man, would this happen this way? They are right on it. Because it's going to take them continuing to think that way to relieve themselves of the older culture of Black people. We keep passing on this quiescent way of dealing with the affairs of what we call racism. We need to deal with ourselves, be with ourselves, so that other people will respect us. You can't make anyone respect you. You have to respect yourselves first. That's what I love about the teachings and nature of Islam. That's what I love about Minister Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And for you, Sister Donna, what would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
Probably about the same as my husband's, to be a helper. I love helping people. I'm in the healthcare system, so I help a lot of people that's sick.
Beautiful. Okay, great.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of her too, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we are supporting you, and thank everybody who's in the comments. I want to make sure I thank you, Sister Donna, and Brother D'Mitri, on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your sacrifices and the sacrifice of your family. May Allah continue to bless you both. Thank you all for coming on the People's Podcast. I can't wait to put this. Thank you, everybody. I'm just seeing so many people show you love, and all praises to Allah. Liking it on Facebook, and I can't wait to put this on YouTube tonight.
What about that question you always ask those people before they leave about those albums behind you?
Okay, yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir. What's your favorite album, brother? What's your favorite album, sir?
Well, brother, I'm just gonna have to. You said that old dude here, original rappers. They were called the Last Poets.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's one of them. And then up to date, when I used to do security, sometime I'd wind up in the concert area with this group right here. This is the Mothership Connection.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I know about people.
Yeah, Parliament Funkadelic. And one that I really is, I just did that for fun. But this is the one that I love the most right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the minister's music case, and it's called "Let's Change the World."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, there's all kinds of music and stuff on here, brother. This is my favorite one. All praise to Allah.
Yes, sir. And because like they say, we fight like that. That's right. Come on now.
I love
yes,
that,
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
That's because I remember you saying you like acting, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You might get to play that part.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. My brother said brother came prepared. My sister said brother came prepared. Praise be to Allah. Nothing like family supporting me in the comments. Thank everybody who's watching. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Thank you all again. Thank you.
Proud of you, brother.
Thank you very much, sir.